Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing some YA book recommendations. So I have 19 books to recommend to you guys. Actually, scratch that, 20. And a lot of these are series, or the first book in a series, and I think one of them is a standalone with other books in the same world. But let's dive right in. Okay, so this is going to be separated into sections. So I have some dystopian sci-fi, a realistic fiction, literary fiction, mystery, and fantasy. And if you watch my last fantasy book recommendation, none of these books appeared in that video. So our first book recommendation is An Ember in the Ashes. And I don't know how to say this author's name, but this is the author. So this follows Leia and Elias. And so one night, masked soldiers raid Leia's home and kill her grandparents. And they arrest her brother for treason. So then she makes a deal with the rebels. If she spied on this military school, then they would help her get her brother out of prison. And Elias is a student at the school that she's supposed to be spying on. And he really does not like it. He's the most unwilling, but he's the best soldier there. So then Leia meets Elias, and they will soon realize that their destinies are intertwined. I really liked this, and I can't wait to read it. This is part of the series. It's the first book. And that series is A Torch Against the Night, and I'm definitely going to have to get that sometime soon. But this was good, and I recommend this to people who like high-stakes fantasy books that kind of have a dystopian feel to it. And at first I wasn't sure if this was dystopian or fantasy, but I did look this up, and I'm pretty sure this is fantasy. And I have my blanket because it is cold inside my house today. And then we have Powerless and the entire series. So including the novella, because I feel like this just gives a character, and this is brought up in this. So I recommend reading all of these. And there's a new novella coming out in September sometime that I'm excited for. I think September 2nd maybe. And that's Fearful. So I'm excited for that. But, so this follows Peyton Gray and Kai Azur, and Peyton is an ordinary in a world of elites, and elites come from this plague, and if you get the plague and you survive it, you get powers. Peyton is an ordinary, and ordinaries are banished, and they will be killed if they are found, because there's like supposedly a disease that ordinaries carry. And so she kind of accidentally saves Kaiser, who's a prince. I say accidentally because she unwillingly did it. She didn't know he was the prince. And she's thrown into the purging trials, which are trials, like 3 trials that show the elite's abilities. So this is good. Then you also have the other books in the series are Powerful, which follows one of Peyton's friends during the trials, and I got the special edition because it matches, it's like the black cover as well, so it matches all the others, but it also comes with pretty edges, so it's kind of a bonus. And then Reckless, which I think it's like my favorite book in the series, but this is also a pretty cover. And then there is Fearless, which is the latest book that came out, and this is the thickest book. I think this is like almost 600 pages. Yeah, this is 588 pages. I can't really say what this is about, but this is good, and I think this is the last actual book in this series, because then there's a novella coming out, and I think that's it. And then we have another series, and that is the Caraval series. These are big books. But Caraval is a game that happens once a year. This follows Starlit Dragna, and she's never left the tiny island where she was born and raised. So she and her sister Donatella, who goes by Tella, live with their powerful and cruel father, So her father has arranged a marriage for her, and Starlet thinks that her dreams of seeing Caraval are over. But then Starlet's invitation arrives with the help of a mysterious sailor, and Tella whisks Starlet away to the show. Only as soon as they arrive, Tella is kidnapped, and that is like the theme of, that's what Caraval season revolves around. Tella, and whoever finds her first is the winner. And it's don't believe everything you see in Caraval type of situation, like kind of like Alice in Wonderland. Then we have Legendary, which is the second book, and this follows Tella's POV. And then Finale, which I just got done filming the intro to another video. And like I said there, I can't remember if this is 2 POVs. Yeah, can't remember. This might just be Starlet again, but I'm pretty sure that when I read this, this was 2. So I'm gonna be rereading this for this video, and I will let you guys know in that vlog. But this series was pretty good. I think I gave this one like 3.75, and then maybe like 4.25, and I gave this one 5 stars. That's the only one I'm actually sure on. But I recommend this if you have not read it yet, because after you read that, you can read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which I really liked. Which I recommend reading this first. It's one of the characters you get introduced in here, and you learn about them and how it works and stuff. But that is it for our fantasy section. So now we're going to move on to our dystopian sci-fi section. So the first book is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, and Brandon Sanderson is a famous author. It's my first book that I read by him. This is his YA sci-fi book, I think. But this follows Spansa, and her world has been under attack for decades, and they live on this different planet, and pilots are like soldiers there, and she's always wanted to be a soldier, but after her father kind of deserts and gets shot down, her dreams of becoming a pilot, I'm not say soldier, of becoming a pilot are dashed because she's now remembered as the coward's daughter. But then she discovers something accidentally in a Lawn for Dawn cavern that might just provide her with a way to claim the stars. This was good. I also gave this 5 stars. The ending was really tense, and there is also a sequel, which is Starsight, I think, and I'm excited to read that. And then we have another series. Like I said, I think every single book I'm going to be recommending is a series or part of a series, like the first book in the series, except for one book. But we have another series, and this is the Selection series. This is really good. Follows a girl named America, and she is chosen to compete in the Selection, which is where 35 girls compete for the heart of Prince Matson. And she really does not want to do it because she thinks that it's turning her back on her secret love with Aspen, who is a caste below her. Then she starts to discover that maybe she does want the crown. And then these other books are as follows. So now the competition is narrowed to 6 elite, and the competition to win the prince's heart is fiercer than ever. And she is struggling to decide where her heart truly lays. Is it with Matson or with her first love, Aspen? And we have the one. Mary discovers just how hard she'll have to fight for the future she wants. The series was really good. There's 5 books in this series, but I think that these 3 to be its own series, and then the other 2 to be also its own series. I think there's also The Heir and Happily Ever After. No, and then The Crown. I tried to read The Heir, but the main character in that is just kind of insufferable. But I gave each and every one of these books 5 stars, so I definitely recommend if you're a fan of like competitions and feeling very YA-ish. And then for the literary fiction, contemporary, I think that's what this is, contemporary. You've read Sam, which is a sad book. This is also the only standalone. I think there's other books in this world that follow different people they meet, but overall this just be a standalone like I read it. This follows Julie. Yeah, she has her future all planned out, so move out of the small town with her boyfriend Sam, attend college, and spend a summer in Japan. But then Sam dies, so Julie, being really sad and heartbroken, skips his funeral and throws out all his belongings. But then She tries to call Sam just to hear his voice one last time, and he picks up. And this is kind of a good book with like moving forward after a death of someone you love, which sounds really sad, and it kind of is, but I didn't cry. This was good as well. The mystery section is one series, so let me show you. It is the Inheritance Games series. I really like this series. I'm still reading Glorious Rivals. But it was over halfway. Where's my bookmark? Oh, it's upside down. Well, I put the cover on upside down, but that's okay. But I'm over halfway through, and I'm really liking, well, it's actually not my favorite so far, but I think it'll get better at the end, because a lot of people say, like, what is that ending? This is kind of split up into two series. So we have the Grandest Dame series, which I think is going to be a trilogy. That's kind of separate. And then this is a standalone, it's not really a series. And then this is the main series, which I originally thought was a trilogy, but I don't know what it's called, 4 books. This series follows a girl who just randomly inherits billions of dollars. Like, she becomes a multi-billionaire overnight. She goes from sleeping in her car to living in this mansion, Hawthorne House. The only catch is that Avery has to stay in that mansion full of like secret passages and puzzles and riddles for a year, and she can't be gone for more than 3 days. But the house is also occupied by the family that was just disinherited. So the 4 Hawthorne grandsons, Xander, Nash, Grayson, and Jameson. Grayson is convinced that Avery kind of used his grandfather to get the money, and he's determined to take her down. But Jameson sees her as like another puzzle, his grandfather's last one. So this is fun. And this is kind of, they solve the main puzzle in this one, but then it leads into another puzzle, and then to another situation. And Avery is just so smart, and yeah. And then Jameson is a bunch of short stories or novellas. That Night and Prayed, The Same Backward as Forward, The Cowboy and the Goth, which is one of my favorites. It follows Lib and Nash. And then 5 times Xander tackled someone and 1 time he didn't. One Hawthorne Night, Secret Santa, What Happens in the Treehouse, Paint at the Right Gun. And there's a timeline. There's a timeline, and some of these happened beforehand. I still recommend not reading these before you read the original series, because this will spoil the puzzles. This was good. I did this 4.5 stars. Even though I don't rate novellas, this was a collection of them, so I felt like that was kind of different. Wait. Oh, I forgot the Brothers Hawthorne. This one is from Grayson and Jameson's POV. Another mystery. No, don't fall. There. And then the Grandest Dame series is Avery starts a game, and this follows Lyra, Gigi, and Rohan. I don't know how to say it. But those are the 3 POVs you get in this book, and then in this book you also get Grayson's POV. I don't think you get it in this book. Let's see. No, you don't get it in this book. There's just a lot of secrets that are unfolding during the game. Let's see. I don't exactly. This is just continuation of this game, because the game doesn't end in this one. It probably doesn't end in this one, and I'm guessing this is going to be a trilogy. And she has another book coming out next year, and I'm guessing that's going to be the final book in this series. But this is insane. I'll show you. So here, and then it goes up that far. Crazy. These are the 20 books that I'm recommending to you guys to read if you have not yet. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for next week's video. Goodbye!